Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better your business. My name is Kim Beer, and this week we're going to be talking about making a quiz using the Interact Quiz Builder. Full disclosure, I am an Interact affiliate, and I chose this software because it is so easy to use and it generates leads like crazy. So I love it. That's the reason I picked it over other quiz making software. You can take the principles that I teach you here and apply them to any quiz making software. But if you'd like to try Interact, I'd love it if you would use my affiliate code. You can do that by going to bemorebusiness.com, clicking on tools, and then scrolling to the bottom of the page, and you'll find a link where you can get your free trial through my affiliate link. Like anything you do in marketing in your business, this will go a lot smoother if you do some prep work ahead of time. So what I did to prepare to teach you this is I created a quiz that I'm going to actually use. I do a lot of photography education for photographers, and one of the things that I teach is Lightroom. And people always have a struggle figuring out which Lightroom is for them. And I have a series of questions I generally ask them in order to determine that. So I'm just going to convert that into a quiz. And I'm going to hope that this quiz converts people into my class and also brings leads into my photography business. So I'm going to start by creating the quiz itself. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about creating the quiz. First of all, keep your quiz short. You want less than 10 questions on your quiz. I chose to do 5 because that's about what I ask people. So I'm going to do 5. Keep the questions simple, and you're also going to want to go with a graphic for each question. And you note here that on the screen over here, I have found 5 images to go with the 5 questions. And I'll use one of those images again for the cover of the quiz as well. All right, so to write the quiz itself, this is how you do it. Start with the outcomes. What do you want the final answers for the quiz to be? And again, the simpler you can keep this, the better. If you can keep it to 3 outcomes, that's great. If you have to expand it to 4 or 5 outcomes, it's okay. But please don't get a ton of outcomes. I've done a quiz with 8 outcomes, and I can tell you it was too many outcomes. But it worked, and I did use it, and it has brought leads into my business. So I can't complain too much, but I can tell you the fewer outcomes you have, the easier it's going to be for you, and the easier it's going to be for the people taking the quiz. So start with the outcomes. In this case, there's really 3 choices. You either are going to use Lightroom, or you're going to use Lightroom Classic, or you're going to use both of them. So that's what I have made my quiz outcomes. Then write your questions and then map one of the answers to the question to each outcome. So for example, I have when accessing my original images, option 1 would be Lightroom. Option 2 would be Lightroom Classic. Option 3 would be both, or in this case, the answer here is doesn't really matter. So we're going to go with that, moving to both. The rest of the answers in here all map to indicating that that individual would want to use both pieces of software in conjunction with each other. So map them, and you can organize it on your paper so that number 1 goes to outcome 1, number 2 goes to outcome 2, and 3 goes to outcome 3. When you get into building your quiz, if you want to mix that up a little bit, Interact makes it easy for you to do that. So don't feel like you have to do that here on your Word document. I also recommend that you do just what I did. Create a Word document that has the outcomes, the name of the outcome, the text that you want to use when the person gets that outcome. And ideally, what you want is you want people to have an action associated with the quiz, like take my course or go and fill out this form for an exploratory call or whatever that happens to be. In the example that we're doing today, I don't have that piece set up. So I'm just going to teach you how to set up the quiz, and I'll show you how to do that. But I recommend you think it out ahead of time and go ahead and put it into your Word document exactly what you you want them to do and the URL that they're going to click to be able to execute that action. If you want them to buy a product, go to the place where they can get the closest to a checkout form as possible. If you want them to make an exploratory call with you, make the link to your booking system, okay? Cut out as much of the middlemen as you can. Just don't send them to the front page of your website unless that's the final action that you want them to take. Get them as close to being able to complete whatever your call to action is. We're going to start from our Interact quiz dashboard, and we're going to click on create a new quiz. Obviously, that's what we want to do, right? So Interact has a bunch of quizzes that it's going to bring up to see something that if there's something in here that you might use. There's a bunch of pre-written ones that you can utilize to get leads for your business. You might take a look through those and see if it's going to work for you. But personally, I like to provide custom made quizzes. Although I tell you, I'm going to come back and check out this CRM one later. I'm going to actually create this from scratch. So I'm going to click on it there. Now, the quiz that we're creating is going to be most aligned with the personality quiz. An assessment is a test, and then scored is where you actually get a score at the end of it. So personality is what we're going to choose, and that's the most aligned with the type of quiz that I want to create. Now I'm into the quiz maker itself, and I get to title my quiz. And so this is going to be which Lightroom is for you. Okay. And then here in the description, let's settle the dilemma, which I never can spell right, of whether you would be happier with Lightroom or Lightroom Classic. All right, perfect. We've got a title, we've got a quiz, and of course I spelled dilemma wrong. I can never spell dilemma. You would think I would learn after a little while, right? Okay, so now we have our quiz cover that we need to do. So I'm going to click on edit. Remember, I've done this work ahead of time. I've actually made the pictures that I'm going to use similar in size. I'm going to be honest, I didn't crop them down to the 400 pixels, but I did make them 900 pixels wide, and they are smaller than 2 megabytes. I'm going to go ahead and click on choose file. It opens up to my LR quizzes. If it didn't, I would navigate there, and I'm just going to grab this LR logo, and we are going to click on upload. All right, so that's going to place this for me to crop. I'm just going to use the center crop so that it's done, and there's my quiz cover. All right, I can do some other things with this. I can add, I can change colors. I can do all kinds of things with the front page. I'm not going to do that. I'm really interested in creating a quiz. You can come in and play with that. Here's the color palette over here. Here's your fonts if you want to change the fonts around and how they are presented on the screen. Interact allows you to do a lot of things with your quizzes that make them really brand specific and on brand for you. My brand colors for Kim Beer Photography, the blue works out great and the white is also perfect. So we're just going to leave it very plain Jane. The next thing I'm going to do is start adding in my questions. So I'm going to click the plus here for new questions, and it gives me some opportunities to do a couple of things here. One is branching logic, and you do have to have their more advanced paid subscription to use branching logic. I'm not going to get into that in this quiz. My goal here for this week's Make It Happen Monday is just to get you to utilize a quiz as a lead collection tool. So don't overwhelm yourself. Keep it simple. Use that KISS principle. Keep it stupid simple, right? Okay, so we've already written our quiz. I already have it done. So I'm going to come over here to my quiz Word document, and I'm going to grab the first question and paste it in. Then I'm going to grab the first answer and I am going to paste it in. I'm going to grab the second answer and I am going to paste it in. And then I'm going to grab the third answer and I'm going to add an answer and paste it in. Whew. I remember I told you you could rearrange these. You can rearrange them. Okay, so you can move them around if you want to here. I can also show a question image. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to my upload, choose file, and let's grab the laptop image. I'm going to open that and click on upload, and it's going to put my image on here for me. So boom, 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 there it is. My first one is done. So now let's go ahead and click on edit result correlations, because this is where we're going to start mapping this to a result. Okay, so first of all, we need to set our results. Let me close this. We're going to come down here to results and go ahead and set the result. We're going to have 3 results in this case. So I'm going to go to result 1. And result 1 in this case is just plain, is Lightroom, which is the Lightroom CC version. I'm actually going to put that after this because some people still get confused as to which one is which. I'm going to grab an image for this. So choose file. And I'm going to take that. Actually, I'm going to take this the iPad picture. We're going to upload that as the result for this one. And we're going to crop and save. I love how I found a photo with an iPad editing. And by the way, these are all deposit photos. I wanted to do this in a way that you would do it out there in your own small business. And honestly, I just used deposit photos. Remember, I told you we pre-wrote our descriptions. Here it is. And then here is where you're going to put your call to action. So there's the call to action. And I am going to go ahead and put a URL in here to visit Cowgirls with Cameras. Cowgirlswithcameras.com. Okay, open link in a new window and click on save. Save. Visit Cowgirls with Cameras. Okay, so in this case, I'm okay with them going to my webpage. I probably am going to come back here and make this a little bit more detailed later, but again, I want to keep it simple for you guys. I do recommend that you have a more direct call to action. If you want them to go to the front page of your website, perfect, 2 thumbs up. But if you're selling something or you have something very specific to recommend, or you want them to make an exploratory call, make sure this call to action goes right to that place. Sorry, I'm repeating that twice in here, but I want you to know for sure how to handle the call to actions in quiz results. And by the way, you can have a different call to action for each result. In this case, I'm going to use the same call to action, but here is my result. I'm not going to bother to do the rest of the results except to type them in up here, Lightroom Classic. And then I am going to do this one and call it both. Because what I want to get to is back here to my question. When it comes to accessing my original images, now I want to be able to edit my correlations, right? So I need my original images, and I confused myself because I changed those, always accessible on a hard drive. So I just want to make sure I'm going to get that right. In this case, that is actually going to be this. I don't want it there. It's going to correlate, and see how it drew that little line from one thing to the next. So this one is, I like the cloud. So I'm going to select it, and it maps to here. And this one maps to both. Okay. So when you reorder the questions, those little lines are going to change. You're going to do this for each question in your quiz. I'm going to work through one more question, and then I'm going to pause this recording and come back to you when I've finished my entire quiz. So to add another question, I just click up there, add question 2, and then I have it all typed out. That is the great place for everything here. So I'm going to grab the second question and I'm going to paste it in, and then I'm going to get answer 1 and paste it in here. I'm going to grab answer 2 and paste it in for B, add an answer, and grab answer 3. This is me in Lightroom. I want it all. And then I'm going to edit the result correlations. So this case, they're going to go straight across. Excuse me. straight across. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to save it. And then if I want to reverse them here, I can. I do think one it all needs to be at the bottom, so I'm going to leave them straight across. It's that easy to get to this point. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and finish out the rest of the questions, add in my other 2 results, and I will be back in the turn of a second. So now that I've finished my quiz, I've input all of my questions. I have all 5 of them in here and I have all 3 results sorted out. Now I'm ready to move on to the next step, which is actually lead generation. So I'm going to click on the lead generation, and what this does is it's going to stop people at before it gives the result. In other words, it'll let them take the quiz up into the result, and then it's going to give them an opt-in form. And realistically, that's what we want this to do. We want them to have to fill out something in order to get to the conclusion of their result, to collect their information. Now, on the other hand, you may use this for training, or you may use it for brand building, and you may not want to force people to do that, but just suggest it. There's a way where you can tell them that they have to, or you can allow them to skip it. It just depends on what the purpose is for that quiz. If it's something that is really important to you to collect their information from, and then you've put a lot of time in it and that result is really important, then I would make them give you their information before they got the result for marketing purposes. If it's something more like this that I did with the little Lightroom quiz here, it's more about brand building and setting us up as an authority about Lightroom. So I'm not so worried about it there. I'm going to suggest it, but I'm not going to require it. I will also tell you that this opt-in form works just like any other opt-in form out there. The more information you ask of people, the less likely it is that they're going to complete all of the boxes. So I'm going to require email address and first name. That's really all I need. I love to be able to personalize our emails when I send them out. So I do want that piece in there. And we need their email address, obviously, if we're going to email market to them. You can choose to collect other information. Just know that the more information you require, if it's from cold leads or cold traffic, then the less likely they are to fill it out. But on the other hand, the people who do fill it out are much better qualified leads for your business. So you just kind of have to weigh this according to how you want to do it. I am not going to make people opt in order to see the result. I'm going to allow them to skip the button. So here's what it looks like. It says see my results, and then under it there's a little button that says skip this step so that they can go directly to it. But this is what my form looks like here. And I will, you can change this information to edit the content according to how you want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on save and continue. And then I have integration programs here. These are in the higher paid programs for this. I'm not going to do any of this. I'm just going to go ahead and click on publish here and click on publish changes. And this is going to make the quiz readily available. And it's going to give me a link. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy the link, and I'm going to paste it in here. And we are going to see what pops up here, which is going to be our quiz. So which Lightroom is for you. It's going to put the builder in. I'm going to be able to take the quiz. I can select my items. I'm just going to quickly select all number 2s here, and it's going to tell me that my software, of course, is going to be Lightroom Classic. Then I'm going to visit the Cowgirls with Cameras website. So boom, it's done. And then I can share my results if I want to. Just simple and easy to get along with. Quiz making software is fun. It's a great way for you to provide a little interactive and engaging content with your audience. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you give Interact a try. Remember to head over to bemorebusiness.com, click on the Tools tab at the top, and then scroll to the bottom of that page to claim your free trial with Interact with my affiliate code. That helps me keep making these videos because I'm paid through affiliate payments. So I hope you'll use that link and remember that if you use these videos frequently. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you back around the blog at bemorebusiness.com for Make It Happen Monday for the rest of the month. And then I'll see you back here next month on YouTube for another video.